This video contains spoilers for Critical Role's Campaign 3 and Exandria Unlimited. Hello, and welcome to my channel, Dare to Nerd. I am back to baking, this time with Critical Role's Campaign 3 fighter, Orym! If you don't watch Critical Role, that's okay, stick around. We're going to be making some decorative pie crust today. This recipe is a combination of several that I found online, and it is fan-friggin-tastic! If this pie is anything like the one Orym had, I can see why it won prizes. I'll include the recipe in the description. Orym developed a taste for pie after he visited Byrodin with the Crown Keepers. There he tried his first ever pie, called Berry Surprise.
The surprise is rum.
So it just seemed appropriate for an Orym-themed baked good. The berry pie, not the rum. Although he definitely deserves a drink. Both Orym and Fern were revived after their encounter with Otohan Thule, but I will admit, I was much more concerned about Orym than Fern. Revival only works if the soul wants to return to the body. I figured Fern wouldn't be ready for the adventure to end, but I was concerned Orym would want to stay with his late husband, Will. And he did. You could just hear the longing in his voice when he said that he missed him. Oh, sad Orym is the worst. But with the promise of seeing his husband again someday, he was coaxed back. Orym has a strong sense of duty, and his job is not over. He still needs to solve the mystery of why Keyleth was attacked by Otohan's shadow assassins, and to help stop Otohan from completing whatever heinous goal she has in motion. But even more than that, Orym is a caretaker. Obviously not as much as FCG, but he is still very protective of his friends and checks up on them when they're down, like when he tried to comfort Imogen after her fight with Laudna. And let's be real, they kind of need his calm and stable personality as a counterweight to their chaotic, traumatized shenanigans. That's why, ultimately, I believe it was this caring and responsibility he has for his friends that brought him back. For the decorative crust, I wanted to include Orym's tattoo of the two moons. The smaller red moon, Ruidus, is becoming a central part of this campaign, but Orym got his tattoo in remembrance of his late husband, Will, as the two moons represent the pair of them. Considering the loss of his husband is such an impactful part of his backstory and why he became an adventurer in the first place, I thought it was necessary to include in an Orym-themed anything. Orym is from the Arishari and has several of their motifs in his design. I particularly like the leaf design on his sword, so I'll be incorporating that into the decoration as well. I drew the rough outline of the leaf on some cardstock. You can also use thin cardboard, before going back in and adding detail to the outline of the leaves. Then I just cut it out once again, first cutting out the outline, and then going back in and cutting out little nicks in the leaf. And we're going to use this as a stencil, so we're just going to lay our leaf flat on the crust, take a sharp knife, and just start cutting around the outline of the leaf. And to get the mirrored image of the leaves that Orym has on his sword, I just flipped the stencil around and cut from the other side. To get the veins on the leaves, I just took the back of the knife and gently pressed it into the crust. Now, all the experts say that the trick to something like this is to keep the crust chilled. So I laid my decorative crust pieces on a cookie sheet and popped that in the freezer for a few minutes. Now, this next part was a learning experience for me because I had never tried it before, but I decided I wanted to add some color to the crust. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can add food coloring to an egg wash, which is what I tried first, or you can put a drop of food coloring on the brush and apply it directly to the leaves, which I found much easier. The details that you carve into the crust stand out much better this way. And in a moment of hubris, I decided to color Ruidus as well, before realizing that I made Christmas colors. I tried to do the vine design on his sword as well, but what I should have done was just do one long vine piece around the edge of the pie instead of trying to make little individual vines between the leaves. But you live and you learn. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to share a cupcake with the local subscribe button. It loves the num-nums. And I will see you for the next video. Okay, bye!